Hi there, friends. I'll come in here with a quick note to let you know that the first global Product Owner Summit organized by the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast is coming soon. To know more, check out the bit.ly/Product Owner 2023. That's bit.ly/Product Owner 2023. That's all one word, all lowercase. And stick around to the end of the episode to know more. But for now, on to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Friday and TGIF episode this week with Mike Sologub. Hey, Mike, welcome back.
Hey, what's up, Vasco? Happy to be back. TGIF.
Indeed, TGIF. So as we get into the Friday and weekend mood, let's dive into the product owner role. So we'll talk about a great product owner in a minute. But to get us started, Mike, share with us what might have been potentially the worst product owner anti-pattern you've witnessed in your career.
Assuming that they're the boss and bossing every aspect of everything. I've worked with product owners that didn't really know what a product owner was, and I guess that's the best answer for an anti-pattern is the clueless PO, thinking that they're the project manager and they can tell people what to do and how to do it, and that anti-pattern is something that I will jump over the moon for to end. Yeah,
So tell us a little bit more about how that anti-pattern is expressed in practice. So I think everybody would understand they want to tell the team what to do, but how do they do it? Like what are the things that you see them express that lead you to understand, okay, this is bossy or thinks they're the boss PO?
So I've had a couple of POs that were previous developers, and they saw natural progression in the organization to go from developer to PO. And we would, in building out the work for the sprint, they would second guess the lead developer. They would tell the lead developer how best to do it to complete the tasks. They would halfway through the sprint not be satisfied with how quickly the work was getting done. So they would take on a development type role and go right to the source code and adjust it. They would downplay retrospectives and we don't have enough time for this. We need to focus on output and work. And it was the exact antithesis of what a product owner should be, where a product owner should really be focusing on the overall aspects of stakeholder management, the whole nines, the focus on the feature itself from a non-technical standpoint, and they were inserting themselves as if they were the tech lead. And it was very difficult to be a Scrum Master under a product owner that focused so much more on the code of the work rather than the goal of the work.
And when you think about this kind of POs, and we're never free from perhaps meeting some PO like that in the future. So when you think about these POs, what do you wish you would have done differently? Like if you would have a time machine and go back, what would you do differently?
If I had a time machine, I would first day meeting them, set expectations on the roles. Their role as a PO is to X, Y, Z. My role as a Scrum Master is X, Y, Z. The role of the tech lead is X, Y, Z. If you don't like that, if that does not have the same definition in your brain, you have to talk to your manager because that's not what a PO does. And if you want to be a developer, go be a developer. But don't take a PO role just because it's higher pay or a manager title.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we also need to be aware ourselves as Scrum Masters, because we have background, and when we come to the Scrum Master role, we also bring that background with us. And if we were previous project managers like I was, we'll probably take a lot of the project management tools into the work of the Scrum Master, right? And it's very important to be aware and deliberate about how we bring that background with us, because we all have it. We all have baggage, as they say.
Yeah. And it's hard for those that want to be ambitious to kind of take that step back, because it's the natural opposite to, I want to be ambitious, and then when I get there, I want to take a step back. and they want to keep rolling and keep building that momentum and to keep going. But especially for a PO, I mean, they set the tone when it comes to product. They are the ones finding out what the strategy for that product is and working with a program manager or a product manager and so forth. They should not be worrying about how it gets done. They should be worrying about what is delivering the overall value to the
and unblocking things like decisions and so on that need to be made for the team to be able to pick up the work.
Yeah.
So that was the anti-pattern, but of course we also want the example of a great product owner. So tell us, Mike, what was potentially the best product owner you've ever worked with? How did they work?
So in keeping that same vein, one of the best product owners I've ever worked with was a developer before as well. She knew everything about the product. She knew everything about the business. She was seeing, sprints and sprints ahead and making sure that she's talking to stakeholders about pitfalls and risks. She is seeing a future vision to that product of not only incorporating COVID testing, but how about blood testing? How about any type of laboratory testing, and talking with the stakeholders and seeing and using that development background to see and to estimate on her own volition what would be the true lift of it, knowing how well and skilled her team is. Because of a team of 5 developers and she was only 1 developer, she now knows, well, if I could do this and this, the overall estimation should be about 3 sprints worth of work for one person. And then when they would when that would be brought to the sprint planning or PI planning, it was easier for her to talk the technical advantages and pros and cons to it, rather than tell the team, you have to build this because I could have done it in X amount of time. You have to do it in X amount of time. It was just an easier level setting with the team. And the team respected it. It respected her for it, because she didn't push her own agenda. She didn't push her own timelines. She just understood the true mountain of work it took to get various things. And she never had to go back to the team when she had to push off. When if a product manager was saying, we need this done by tomorrow, she would go to bat for the team with her expertise and say, yeah, as my time as a developer, this is going to take 5 sprints of 5 people working on it full-time minimum. So it was never that back and forth, which alleviated so many issues and so many discussions that were needed with the rest of the team.
Absolutely. And this ability for a product owner to speak the language of the team also builds the possibility for collaboration, right? Because the team they know they can talk about technical topics with the product owner, and they can say, hey, but we also have this thing, and that also needs to be taken into account. And then the product owner, because they understand, they are able to get to the same level with the team, right? It's almost like it's a discussion between peers, unlike the opposite, which would be a product owner that does not understand any of the technology and is not able to talk to the team in their own terms.
And it was also good because if the development team tried to BS her and say, yeah, it's going to take 3 PIs worth of work, she would just say, okay, well, count me in, I'll do some development work. And then they're like, whoa, okay, fine, it takes 3 sprints. So it was that threat of, she knows what she's talking about and she could, talk the technical talk, as well as she respected the team enough to go, knowing how much and how difficult these tasks were, to already go to bat for them without even having to go take it by them, which the team from day one respected wholeheartedly. Because once again, we had that expectations discussion, and and me and her, I sent her a Christmas card every year. We just have that great back and forth because of the expectations we set and the transparency we had, on top of her being a pretty good developer before she came a really great PO, and now I think she's solution manager or program manager now. So
absolutely. And this last aspect you mentioned, the chemistry between the PO and the Scrum Master, is also very important, because we can support each other, but if we don't have that chemistry, it's all going to be about trying to cope with each other, and it's a totally different way of working.
it's kind of like parents, right? It's easier to have two parents than one parent. And when you have 5 kids, having 2 parents is easier than one parent. But if you have a smaller team, you can get away with having one parent. So it's, as a parent myself, it's, it can get dicey, but, that PO and Scrum Master connection is paramount.
Absolutely. So, Mike, we're getting close to the end. Thank you for sharing this story. But before we do share with us, where can people find out more about you and the work that you're doing?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's probably my most frequent in social media. I have a Twitter, but I barely check it. So reach out to me on LinkedIn. I have a bunch of time if you want to, get on a video chat, ask questions. If you want to just email me or DM me, feel free. I'm an open book, and I'm happy to, throw my hat in the ring with the rest of the community.
Absolutely. And sharing and learning from each other is what makes us a great community. Mike, it's been a pleasure. So thank you very much for your generosity with your time and your knowledge.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Hi there, Agile friends. Thank you for sticking around. This year's first global summit dedicated to the product owner role in Scrum will have some amazing keynotes and 2 tracks filled with first-hand stories and experiences for product owners to learn more about that critical Scrum role. We'll have Roman Pichler, author and product expert, who will be answering your questions and sharing the most important aspects of the product owner role. We'll also have Colleen Johnson talking about why roadmaps are probably making your life much harder than it needs to be and what to do instead. This talk was quite a success in Agile Online Summit 2022, and Colleen has learned some new tricks, tools, techniques that she will share with us when it comes to roadmaps for the product owner role. And we will also have Henrik Nyberg, author of Scrum and Kanban from the Trenches, as well as one of the creators of the Spotify model. So come in and listen to his stories. And we'll also have, of course, 2 tracks with many more sessions and even some live sessions. The 2 tracks will cover practices every product owner should know, where we'll be hosting conversations on topics that product owners need to be familiar with, like backlog refinement, planning, and much more. The second track will be on metrics, measuring product and personal success as a product owner. As product owners, it's crucial to have a clear understanding of what are the metrics that drive success for us, and of course also for the products and businesses that we work with. And we need to continuously measure and optimize those metrics. So in this track, we'll be sharing what's working and what's not in the area of measuring success for product owners. We will also have the opportunity to network with our peers. It's a network event, of course, so get your tickets and join our Slack. Go to bit.ly/product owner 2023. That's all one word, all lowercase. As always, we will have free tickets and VIP tickets, which will give you long-term access to the content of this summit. So check them out at bit.ly/product owner 2023. All lowercase, all one word. I'll see you on the summit floor. One more week of the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast is over, but there's a lot more we have to share. We have developed our own membership site where you find a community of active and engaged Scrum Masters. In this site, you get access to exclusive content and get to interact with us, your podcast hosts, as well as the best Scrum Masters in the world. So join us at scrummasterpodcast.com and keep this podcast free of advertising. See you next week for one more full week of Scrum Master tips and tricks.